Earnestly Podcast, the Burning 7, new concept here. Well, not necessarily a new concept. If you've been rocking with us for a long time, you know this Burning 7 was actually something I did in my blog back in the day. When I would wrap up the weekend, kind of have like my 7 biggest takes of the weekend, and just kind of talk about them real quick. But I decided to put them on a podcast form as opposed to writing it about it, because I don't have time to write. Much I want to write these days, I just don't have time to sit in my phone or sit in my office and just write out my thoughts, you know. So this is gonna be a every Sunday night, Monday morning reaction to the weekend. We'll see. We keep this going for a while. We'll do it on this feed, especially too. I know we got a lot of shows. We've been doing the last couple of weeks. We'll obviously do that later on in the week, but lots to talk about here, you know, especially with this time of year where it's football, it's basketball's around the corner, it's everything right now, and just figured, you know, get a little space, a time, a space to just react. Because the thing is, I've been, you guys have seen it on this feed the last couple of weeks, I've been extremely busy on the feed, but I have not been able to do any solo shows. Really, I did one. I think I did one last weekend, but around that, I've been doing a bunch of, you know, NBA previews. I've been doing a bunch of other, the usual student game report, EJ Degenerate, and other guests I've been having on the show. And I'm not complaining, obviously. I've been having a great time with it, and I thank you guys for downloading, subscribing, and especially on YouTube at Earnest Christian on YouTube. So this will be something I'll do every Sunday night or Monday morning, as I'm doing right now, Monday morning on the way to work. Nothing too long, nothing too tedious. It's just kind of quick to the point. A couple of thoughts of the weekend. So my first take of this episode, I think it's time to start gambling for a little while. Parlays suck. Again, I did a 1 o'clock and a 4 o'clock session. I did a 4-leg parlay for each session. Each session hit 3 out of 4. I took the under on the Giants-Dolphins, that hit. I took the Dolphins to cover on the Giants, that hit. And for the record, I'm a Giants fan, but you know I'm not an idiot either. My team sucks, so I know how to navigate those waters. I'm gonna navigate those waters as I need be. I took also what else was on that hit? Detroit to cover, which they did easily. But Baltimore minus 4.5 I took, and I was very close to hitting that parlay. They were actually on the 3-yard line, I think it was. They were definitely like on the goal line. I was watching the game yesterday, and they were up 10-8 late in the game. Oh, midway through the fourth quarter, late in the game, and they fumbled the ball. Pittsburgh comes back, they score, they come back and win the game. Story of my life, man. And then my second parlay, I did I had the over on the Eagles Rams that did not hit, but everything else did hit. Terrible weekend. Again, I think I'm gonna stay away from gambling. I think it's and look, I'm not saying I'm betting all these big ass numbers. I'm betting $5 each, so $5 wins 60. You know, I'm not, you know, betting the house. I'm not betting like, you know, my mortgage and all that crap. That's not happening, thank God. But it's kind of frustrating though. My wife, like I've been telling you guys, my wife's getting into the gambling thing a little bit now with me. She this week she backed away. She's like, nah, I'm not doing this week. I'm good. That may be me going forward. That may be me for a little while. I don't know. I say that, and next week Sunday, I'm like, okay, let's dive in this thing one more time. So, yeah. So I think I'm done for us a little while. At least I say that now. Let's just tune in next week. We'll see if I hold to that advice, my own advice. Probably not, because that's what's up, you know. So that's my first take of the week on this episode. My second take is The San Francisco 49ers, my God, destroyed the Cowboys last night. And look, I know there are 2 5-0 teams in the league. There's them, and then there's the Eagles. And Eagles are starting to pick it up themselves too. I mean, they haven't looked the same. They've looked kind of like vulnerable at points, but they're 5-0. But it does feel like that San Francisco is a tier above everybody else. I would even say in some ways over the Eagles in some way. Last night's game was just a total ass-kicking. Nothing fancy. San Fran just pummeled Dallas. That game was never close. I mean, the closest I think got was 14-7 in the second quarter. But honestly, Brock Purdy looks like... Look, I'm not sitting there saying he's a top 10 quarterback in the league. But damn, sometimes you watch him like, dude, are you sure about that? Now look, somebody texted yesterday during the game saying, Brock Purdy is Tom Brady 2.0. Pump the brakes. Brock Purdy has way more talent around him now than Brady had in his first couple years in New England. Okay, so let's go there with that one. But Brock Purdy, I will say, for someone that's Mr. Relevant, someone who is, was it now 10 starts, 11 starts since taking over last year, he's looked almost flawless. He's making the right plays. He's just doing what he needs to do necessarily to win the games. And then now he's playing at a level now where you have to give him credit to some degree. It's not easy to just, if every player could do this, then you wouldn't have Brock Purdy's in the world. But I guess, I'm trying to turn it here real quick. I guess when you look at the situation, he fits this team perfectly. As good as Jimmy G was, he wasn't as good as Brock Purdy in at least these 9-10 games. That's just the fact. Okay, hold on, almost wrong turn. Sorry. It just feels like right now, through 5 weeks, that it's San Francisco and everybody else. And again, that is not a disrespect to Philadelphia because they are also 5-0. But wow, San Fran looks like a cut above the rest right now. So. Spoiler alert, they'll be number 1 on my power rankings this week. That's not even a conversation. All right, the third take this weekend. The Giants were in town this weekend, and I did not go to the game, thank God. And, yeah. They are a special kind of shit show. And now Daniel Jones is hurt now. How long he'll be out for, we'll see. Neck injury. The only thing about the Giants I can say that's even remotely positive is their defense. They 31-16 final score in Miami, but that could have been worse. The Dolphins' offense is, right now, for 5 weeks, historically great. Most yards ever through 5 games in history in the NFL. And yet the Giants had opportunities to actually make the game competitive. The defense did that for them. The pick six, the 102-yard interception. You had another interception by Tua in the game. But, again, when the Giants' offense can't do shit and you're not be rewarded by the offense, what happens? So this is a lost season. The season's over. White flag. They go to Buffalo next week. It's already over. I'm not even worried about it. I'm not even sweating the rest of the year. I'm just going to watch these guys, see if Daniel Jones can actually somehow, some way find a way to play better and just make this season more competitive because this is over. White flag. It's up. Oh, I'm a bad fan, right? I don't care. This team sucks. They stink. They regress royally. Brian Daboll has had his team unprepared. And you can sit there and say that, Saquon Barkley not being there hurts. Certainly does hurt. Not having Saquon. But I don't think Saquon fixes the issues you had the last couple weeks. That simple. The team should not have the team should have franchised Daniel Jones and given Saquon his money. And I'm not even saying Daniel Jones is the problem. But we're back to where we were 2 years ago. He's not the solution either. And this is where we are. All right, take number 4. New England, we got a problem, man. Yeah. So, first couple weeks of the year, they were competitive, even losing games. And now they're getting blown the fuck out now. Now all of a sudden they're losing games. Last week they lost, 3 in Dallas? And this week they're losing to the Saints at home, 3-4-0. You hear more of those whispers now from the fan base. Time for Bill to go. On my timeline, I follow a lot of Patriot fans. Man, they are going through it right now. Through it. And here's the thing with Bill Belichick. he's definitely stubborn. He definitely has his way. I do think, as season progresses, obviously, I think there's going to be a conversation between him and Robert Kraft. Look, I don't see him getting fired, but I do see a scenario that after this year, Robert Kraft has a conversation with Bill Belichick in terms of personnel, how he handles personnel, because something's not right. We're not even saying that the Patriots have to, or he has to be, where, okay, no more Tom Brady, winning Super Bowl's a bust. No, but this team's not even competitive anymore. Now they're a bottom feeder team. They're probably going to be a bottom 5 team this week in my power rankings. We'll see. And they look awful. Mac Jones has regressed royally. I think his days in New England numbered. You know, I just think this is a team in a mess right now, and this, I think this team's quit. It is quit, and it's weird seeing a Patriots team who, for a good 2 decades, were just as dominant as a team we've ever seen in this league, or in a sport, for that matter, any sport, for that matter. And it's Pats fans, all my Pats fan friends, man, they are going through it, man. They really are. All right, take number 5. The AFC North is absolutely wide open, and the Bengals are very much in it. Again, this is why I said on the show last week why I believe the Bengals are not done. This might be now 1-3. Now they won a game against Arizona yesterday, because I don't see anyone run away with the division. Baltimore's had a chance to do that. Okay, they lose, as I told you earlier on the show, they lose to Baltimore, to Pittsburgh yesterday. 2 losses where they should have had wins. They lost to Indianapolis a couple weeks ago, and the game they should have won despite having being down 7 starters. The AFC North is going to come down to the wire, and the Bengals now, despite their slow start, they are very much in it. In fact, I would go ahead and still say that even though they look pretty haggard the first 5 weeks, if you ask me right now who the favorites in the division is, I'm still going Cincinnati. And if yesterday is the sign of things to come, look out. I know it's Arizona, but they've been frisky most of the year. Well, look, they play Seattle next week. You know, see if they win that game. Seattle's a lot better than people give credit for. Then they go to the bye week. If they can win against Seattle this week, and they go to the bye week and have Joe Burrow heal up that calf another 2 weeks, that's going to work wonders for this team. Because yesterday you saw Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase went nuts. So, AFC North is very much wide open, and I will still put the Bengals as a favorite to win the division. All right, number 6. Let's go to college football real quick. This year seems very wide open in college football. We had upset. Texas lost to Oklahoma. Yeah. Obviously, Georgia did their thing against Kentucky, although they look vulnerable most of the year. Michigan did their thing. Florida State, number 5 in the country, but they don't feel like a top 5 team in the. Maybe it's just me being a fan and me being too close situation, but it feels wide open. It feels wide open right now. Like, okay, you have Georgia and Michigan. Yeah, 1 and 2. And that's even with Georgia looking vulnerable at times. But then you have Ohio State, who struggled in the first half against Maryland. You have, obviously, Texas won. Oklahoma's got a massive bump in polls this week. But is that sustainable? We'll see. You got the big Washington, I think it's Washington, Oregon this week. So we'll see how that plays out. USC has looked extremely vulnerable this last couple weeks. It just feels wide open, and it's fun. And if it's crazy now, wait until next year when the playoffs start, when the 14 players turns into a 12-team playoff. You know what I'm saying? This is good for college football. Having 12 teams is good for college football. Wore it down a little bit, maybe, but I like it. It gets more teams in the mix. And you're starting to see a little bit of real parity in college football now, which is great. I think it's great for the sport. More schools feel like they're in it. I kind of hate the fact that you lose 1 game, you're out of it. Those days are pretty much over now. I mean, you know, that's when Louisville beat Notre Dame this weekend. Notre Dame looked like a top 15 team and just 5 2 losses, but tough loss in Louisville. You know, and the way I said that was that had an upset vibe all over that. And not because Notre Dame's not good enough. It's the fact that they've probably had a hard time of schedule in college football. Especially this last stretch, playing Ohio State, playing Duke, playing Louisville, and then they got to play USC next week. But at least though, with the playoff coming up, 2 losses doesn't mean you're out of it yet. Especially if you're competitive. So, it's a fun season so far. I'm enjoying it. Colorado's back in the mix again. They won. I mean, Arizona State stinks, but hey, look, Colorado did their job. So, finally, number 7, we get out of here. What the hell was Mario Cristobal thinking on Saturday? You guys watch that Miami Georgia Tech game on Saturday? I actually fell asleep right on the last drive because I figured Miami was going to win this game, was over and all that. Come to find out, the Hurricanes had to. I get a text from my best friend, and he says, "Did you see the ending of that game?" And I'm like, "What?" And basically, Miami lost. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" They were spiking the ball. They were, kneeling on the ball. No, apparently, Mario Cristobal, despite, all he had to do was kneel on the ball to go to the locker room and win the game for the Canes. He decided to run up the ball up the gut with the running back. The second running back fumbles the ball. Tech recovers. And Tech then goes down the field and wins the game with 2 seconds to go. And again, this sucks for Miami because, well, look, I'm not a Canes fan, obviously. I'm a Florida State fan. But in the world of college football, common opponents, you want to do well because it helps your strength schedule in the event your playoff lives on the line to get to the playoff. But that was stupidity by the Canes there, the coaching staff. This is what sucks to Miami too. I just stated right now that the college football season feels wide open. Miami, look, they're not in my opinion, a college national title contender, in my opinion, but they're unbeaten, and anything can happen. You do your job. You beat Florida State later in the year, you're probably in that mix again. This game blew it. This game had as blown the chances there. So, yeah, terrible loss at Miami there. Terrible. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen more. And look, I've seen a bunch of bad coaching just in the last few weeks in the NFL alone. I don't think I've seen anything more worse than that when I saw there. That's horrific. And I really feel bad for those kids, honestly. People say, the defense will stop them. I think the defense was shell-shocked to see what happened there. So, wow. But anyway, that's my 7 burning takes for the weekend. Out the weekend. Get at it, guys. It's Monday. I know it's another work week, but stay positive, stay fresh, stay up. And we will have more podcasts this week. Again, I'm Earnest Christian. I'm on Twitter or X at EJ Christian 7. On YouTube at youtube.com/Earnest Christian. We will talk soon. And enjoy the rest of your week.